I'm broke. I have no money for college. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. But I have an apartment that I damn near can't afford to live in.
You get the bag and formula. 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 I get the bag and flip it and tumble it straight up a lot.
What's up, what's good, what's poppin'? It's your girl D-Glory and I'm back at it again with another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're old subscribers, thanks for staying down and loyal. But yeah, I'm just gonna get right into this video. As you see by the title, yeah, I'm broke. I have no money for college. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. But I have an apartment that I damn near can't afford to live in. I know that a lot of people were saying and would say that 2020 was like the worst year yet to experience, on top, with COVID, the election, all of the protesting and the looting, and with Corona and everything like that. But in all honesty, for me, from my perspective, 2020 wasn't that bad until like once 2020 wasn't that bad for me until fall hit. Once fall hit, that's when everything started going downhill. Like the stress that everybody was talking about on social media and everything like that, with them losing their jobs and people passing away from COVID and people being careless and just everything that was going on in 2020. That nostalgia didn't hit me until fall semester. I was doing well. I was on my shit. Like I had all these classes on top of, I'm a senior in college, undergrad. And so I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that, I have all of these things put in place to where I make sure that I pass my senior comps at the end of this semester. Because when we have senior comps, that was like around the time of midterms, I believe. And so everything was going well until like the end of October hit, and like I said, that's when everything started going downhill. It was really a situation to where I was crying every day. I had headaches because I was crying. I really was in a state of like, I just don't know what to do. I felt helpless, and I was like, and nobody really truly knew what was going on except for Tamia, my roommate. She knew, but I didn't really go into depth and explain thoroughly about like the mental state that I was in. I really don't want to get into detail about exactly what happened, but just know that as far as life goes, like I was just at the bottom. It was bad. It's still bad, but it's not as bad as it was a couple of months ago to now. But basically, because I had everything going on with life, like with just like car situations and tickets and just like not having money for those and everything like that, like and then my parent wasn't making it any better. It just looked like, looking down the road, it was not going to get any better. So once November hit, I'm like, I can't do this. Like it got to Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, I can't do this. But then I found out that I passed my senior comps, and I was like, okay, that's one upside. Like, because I thought I failed it. Like I looked at the test and I'm like, what is this? When do we learn this? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna have to take it again next semester. But I found out that I passed, so I was like, that was literally the only good thing that came out of last semester, was that I passed my senior comps. Like when we got our finals back, my GPA was the lowest that I had ever seen it. And then like a week or two later, my car stopped on me, and I found out that it was a transmission, and I was literally on my way to my second job, and it stopped on me. 10 minutes, I was literally 10 minutes away from my second job, and it stopped on me. I had to push it to a parking spot and get it towed. Then I found out that it was the transmission, and it was $800 to replace it, and then another $800 for the service, so $1,600 in total. And I'm just like, I do not have that money. On top of I was in Chicago, and I wasn't staying at home. I was living with friends, and on top of the main thing that I was down there for, I'm not gonna even be able to do now, and it just upset me. And then on top of like, it's just like, it just seemed that like I had a problem, and then when I figured out the solution to the problem, it just fell apart, just like that, real quick. And I was getting more and more frustrated as the days went on, and I was getting more and more weak and tired and helpless, and I just, like, not necessarily didn't care, but I was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I've tried any and everything that I could think of, and it's just not working. And then when I tell people what was going on, they'll be like, oh, well, just pray about it. And I'm just like, like, I'm not knocking praying. I'm really not. But it's just that I was really in the state of, if you're not offering any, like, suggestions to aid me in my situation, I'm not saying, like, if you're not offering me money, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, the basis of my problems was money. But it's just like, I'm not saying, like, if you offer me money, if you're not offering me money, then I don't want to hear it. It wasn't that. It was just that, like, if you're not offering any helpful suggestions or ideas to kind of, or to, like, fully or almost or kind of aid me out of my current situations, like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just at that point to where it's just like, okay, you keep telling me to pray about it, and, like, prayer works. Yes, I'm not knocking it, but I was tired of hearing it. I was getting to a point where I was just tired of hearing it. So then when it got towards, like, when it got towards New Year's, everything that I had put in place to solve all my problems came crashing down. And that right there was just the breaking point. And I was just like, you know what? I'm over it. Like, I just went completely numb and completely dark. Like, I really didn't have anything to say. And, like, I was mentally and physically tired. Like, I was tired of crying every day. And it wasn't, and, like, I would watch Hulu, watch Netflix, try to watch some movies, try to do something, any activity to get my mind off of it. And literally mid-activity, I would just break down. This would happen every day, multiple times a day. And I was just tired. I was just tired. Like, it got to the point where when I came back to my apartment, I was really thinking of just saying fuck it, and just like, I don't want to be here. And I was like, I'm still at that point, but I've gotten better. And the only reason why I did was because I decided to, you know what, let me try to dig myself out of the situation one last time. Let me just try this one last time. So, and luckily, like, my last friend that I was staying with, she kind of held me accountable, and she was one of the people that I really told everything to in depth, and she was holding me accountable, like, okay, let's get up, let's do this, we need to do this, write down what you need to do, you know what I'm saying, like, let's make some shit happen, basically. And so I was like, okay, let me just, because this was Sunday, so I'm like, let me just, the first Sunday of the year, 2021, and I was just like, okay, let me start with church. So I woke up and I meditated for 5 minutes. After that, I was like, okay, let me see what church, like let me find a church to look at. And so then I found church on YouTube. It's called Relentless Church. Even though I joined in the middle, I'm still glad that I watched it, because the pastor, he was preaching about conflict. It wasn't one of those sermons where it's like, oh, God gives his toughest battles to his greatest warriors or soldiers, something like that. No, it wasn't nothing like no sugarcoated stuff like that. He was talking about, like, in the midst of conflict, that's where your true faith really shows through. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, and like I didn't really take notes, but I was just taking heed to what he was saying, and I'm just like, dang, like, this is applying to me directly. And I was like, okay, so this is definitely a sign, like, I need to do something about it, basically. You know what I'm saying? So afterwards, I started looking up, let me start my spiritual journey, because I knew, and it wasn't right then and there that I knew that I needed to start my spiritual journey. I knew that I needed to take it more seriously, but I knew that a couple of years ago that I was more spiritual than religious. And that had to do in part to the church that I was going to, and I just, as I had gotten older, and I you know, started to come into my own mind, my own thoughts and beliefs and values and everything like that, I realized that, like, my morals and beliefs and stuff weren't aligning with the church that I was going to, as well as, like, the people at that church. And so, yeah, so I was just like, okay, now I know that I'm more spiritual than religious. And so I would hear about spirituality, but in spiritual journeys, but I never really read into it. I never really like just delved deep into, okay, let me see what this is about. So now I feel like this is with everything that's been going on with me, I feel like this is like the best time to do it. 2021, the start of 2021, I'm really starting my spiritual journey. I'm really getting in touch with who I am as a person and what I see for myself in the future. Like I'm not dwelling on the past anymore. I'm not like I'm living for the now, and I'm living to fulfill my future. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have time. I'm glad that I'm laughing now, because if you would have saw me literally a couple of days ago, eyes red, puffy, crying, like headache out of this world, because I was just so frustrated with life that like I just couldn't do it anymore. So I'm glad that I can laugh about it now, but so basically like right now I started to look into other people's spiritual journeys and, spiritual journey for beginners and stuff like that. And so one thing that I did find was that one person said that that your spiritual journey has already started. Like you're like with me right now, I'm not just now starting it. Like it already started a long time ago. I'm more so trying to enhance it now. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, cool. Like I was, just getting in tune to it and stuff like that. Most of the information I want to talk about right now for the next couple of minutes, because I'm really not trying to make this this video that long. But the information that I got is from Sadhguru, Christina Lopes, Infinite Waters, and West Indy Ray, all on YouTube. I'm gonna link the videos the specific videos that I watched. Those videos kind of gave me a crash course to your spiritual journey and manifestation and things like that. I more so want to talk about manifestation because I have big plans for 2021 and I really would like to see them come into fruition. So majority of the information that I'm going to discuss about manifestation comes from Sadhguru. Basically, he says that manifestation is a place where your mind, your emotions, and your fundamental life energies are all organized in one direction, and that when that happens, anything that you wish will come into fruition. And he called it the Kappa Ruksha. And that the fundamental life energies are like the four basic dimensions of who you are right now, include the physical, emotional, the life energies, and the mental. If they are controlled and properly directed, then that's where how manifestation happens. But if they're not, then that's when we become destructive. And so basically we begin to start to act on impulse and not with a conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? He was saying that like the moment that you say it's not possible is the moment that basically you're saying that you don't want it. And he was saying that like we say that because we base all of what's happening right now on past life experiences, so that if it hasn't happened by now, then it's not going to happen, and that we need to get out of that mindset. He's basically saying that like what's possible and what's not possible is none of your business. The only business that you need to be concerned about is what you want and to strive for what you want. Like and when he said that, I'm like, oh, period. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like because I know that for me, I'm always worrying about like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How is that even possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, how I'm finna pull this money out of my ass, and how am I, you know what I'm saying? Like, steady just worrying and stressing myself out. So like when he said that, I was like, okay, so that was directed towards me. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like self-reflecting on, okay, well, I definitely do that. So probably if I stopped, then I would be less stressed and I would be more easygoing. You know what I'm saying? We must, like with manifesting, we must be clear in what we want. And if we're not clear, then, what we want is never going to come to us. So we need to be clear in what we want and what we're manifesting. And he was also talking about failure as well. And he was saying that you may fail 100 times, but those 100 times that you failed, that's 100 extra lessons that you just learned. He was saying that like for a committed man, there's no such thing as failure. Like what I just said, if you fail 100 times, that's only just, don't look at it as 100 failures. Look at it as that's just 100 lessons that you just learned. Like that's literally what he said. And I'm just like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Just, he basically saying like, you know, look at stuff from look at stuff from a different perspective. Be more optimistic. And I feel like that's something that I've always need to work on, because I'm not necessarily saying that I'm pessimistic, but how I act and what I would say would definitely come off as pessimistic, but it was just me being a realist and like, bro, like, I like, you know, sitting there like, honestly, like, do you really think that that has a possibility of happening? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really me being pessimistic. It was just me being more realistic. Like I'm trying to, me thinking that I'm living reality when ultimately I'm just hindering myself from what I can achieve. Didn't get this from Sadhguru. I actually just looked this up on Google, but I just wanted to see ways to manifest, because I knew about scripting. I didn't know too much, but I knew a little bit about what scripting was. But I just wanted to see if there were other ways to manifest, because I didn't just want to do that. And then like, what if that didn't work for me? And I'm just like, okay, well, that's the only way I can do it. So, you know, so I just wanted to look up other ways to manifest. So you can do a vision board, which is so crazy, because when I look these things up, I'm like, some of these things I already do, and I just didn't realize it. But you can do a vision board. So basically, you know, get you a poster board, some magazines, and just, you know, clip out like words or things that you see, or, you know, just whatever, to where that contributes to your vision, and, you know, so you can see what the big picture will look like. Another way is an intention journal. So basically, you just like make a list of things that you intend to do, and that's one, like, this along with the vision board is actually something that I already do. I would literally sit there and make a list of everything that I needed to get done for the day. And then I would just go down the list, and after I did like one thing, I would cross it off, and then I would just keep going until I crossed everything off, or I crossed majority of the things off. So that's like a little mini accomplishment for myself. Like, okay, I finally got some things done, and I feel like writing it down is better, because then you can actually like physically see, you know, just like you crossing it off, and it's just like a weight has been lifted. You know what I'm saying? Another way is belief assessment. Another one is gratitude journal. So basically, you're aware of the abundance that you have. So you're just like, oh, I'm so thankful that I have a roof over my head. I'm so thankful that I have a job. I'm so thankful that I have friends who support me, stuff like that. Shanetta's, I really forgot her YouTube name, but I'm going to link the video that I watched for this down below. But Shanetta talked about what she does is a gratitude journal, and she'll write gratitude at the top, and then she'll be aware of what she already has, but then she'll also speak into present tense of what things that she's manifesting. Basically, like, she'll speak in present tense of things that she's manifesting like she already has it. So say for instance, like, she's trying to, she would want to move to California within the next, like, by the end of this year. So she's like, oh, like, I really thank you, universe, for this beautiful luxury apartment with and get specific with it. She was saying, like, get specific with it. So with the double sink and the marble counter and the beautiful view of the city, stuff like that. Like, she was speaking it like she already has it. Another way to manifest is a letter from your future self. That's very self-explanatory. And then another one is manifestation affirmations. So, you know, just affirmations where you can either do this just at any day, or you can do it while you're meditating. But, you know, just just affirmation stuff like, I'm worthy, I trust the universe and its goodness, stuff like that. And then another way to manifest is prayer. There's other ways to manifest too, but these are the ones that really stuck out to me, something that I can use for myself. But I'll be sure to leave the link below of the little blog that I got this from. But more so with me and my journey and what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to do scripting. So basically just like intention journal, gratitude journal combined, and just writing down what I want manifested, speaking it into present tense, and, you know, stuff like that. So this is what I got from Shonetta. So after watching her video, she was basically explaining what scripting is, and she was saying that scripting is like where you write out what you're manifesting as if it already has come to you. So like I said, she writes right at the top. So she writes gratitude, And it just says like, I'm so grateful that I have, or I love driving my whatever car you have, or like I get compliments on whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you're manifesting. So then she also said like, give thanks. So, you know, be aware of the abundance you already have, like I said before, and be specific. And then she said that this is the important pro tip to when you're manifesting and you're writing in your journal, to not tell anyone, don't tell anybody what you're manifesting. And you're better off not telling them what you're manifesting, but telling them after it's already happened. So once it's happened, just be like, yeah, I manifested this, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't, because it's like you tell somebody, or you telling people, and then you're kind of like jinxing yourself, so setting yourself up to where it wouldn't happen. And then she also said that when you're manifesting, that you have to believe it. You can't have any doubts. You can't have any lack mindsets, and like you can't have any bit of your body thinking that it won't come to you, because if you have it like that, like you create what you want and what you feel. So if you have that one part of your body that's just having that doubt, then it's not gonna come to you. You need to be fully affirmed in, I'm finna get what I'm manifesting. She was saying that, you know, you have to have that confident attitude as if it's already yours. So I'm like, you know what, like, and I feel like that's one thing that I'm really gonna struggle with, and I feel like I'm more so with me scripting gonna have more positivity and more and less doubt in the smaller manifestations as compared to the bigger ones. Like the bigger ones, I'm definitely gonna have like some lingering doubts about, and I'm gonna be less confident about, only because like confidence with me has not come easily. So that's something that I'm still working on to this day. So that, like, you know, confidence in what I want is gonna be kind of tough. But yeah, so that's something I gotta work on. But I mean, I'm here for it. And she also said to just stay away from like cut these words out of your vocabulary. Want, trying, and need. Like want and need should be I have, and trying should be I'm doing. Because I have my journal right here. I'm gonna put scripts probably right here at the top or something like that. Basically, she says take your journal and you date it. If you want to write a word at the top, then you can. And then you put all of your affirmations, you sign it. You can either do this, I mean, you can do it any time of day, but what she says that she does it in the morning as soon as she wakes up, because you're still in that dream state. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it helps you better to manifest and actually believe in what you're manifesting. And then she also does it right before she goes to bed. And she also gave this tip of using a bay leaf. So basically, I believe she said to just write it all out, get the bay leaf, and just wish all your manifestations on that bay leaf, and then just burn it. Shanetta also dropped the gem. It's kind of the basis of what Sadhguru said, but she said that when you're in the process of manifesting, it's not your job to know how. It's your job to speak it, know it's coming, and then just let the universe do the rest. And I was just like, okay, heard you, noted, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like with this journey, I think that I will have a more positive outlook for this year and years to come, because I just always sat here and thought that anything that came to me, whether it was big or small, it's just something I did not deserve. But I know why I think like that, because of, you know, past experiences. Like I mentioned before, I know I think like that. So I'm really just unlearning all of those bad habits, and I feel like with my spiritual journey and manifesting that can aid me even more into not doing that, you know what I'm saying, into unlearning those bad habits. If you're enhancing your spiritual journey and trying to become more conscious and not acting on impulse anymore, then let me know in the comments, because I would really like to, you know, just discuss it with people, especially if you've already if you've been on your spiritual journey for years, and you know you're more versed than I am, then I would love to talk and, you know, just get more info and, you know, books to read and all this other stuff, just so I can, you know, just know what I'm doing, and I won't be trying to start my spiritual journey like aimlessly, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you're starting a spiritual journey, I would definitely love to talk to you about it. You can either, you know, comment and I'll respond, or you can follow me on my social media, either on Twitter or on Instagram. More so Instagram. you can DM me and we can have a whole little conversation right there. Don't be afraid to hit me up. But I'm really excited. It might not look like it on my face, but I'm really excited to start this, and like I'm gonna keep y'all updated. Like I said before, I'm gonna make sure I leave everybody's names and all the links to the videos that I watched down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in a later one. Peace.
Do get the bag and formula. 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 I get